So this video is inspired by somebody I met today that wanted some help around how to get into properties, and it reminded me that actually sometimes I go on to talk to about. You good? You right? You good?
Where you going?
Back home. Catch you later. So my videos are a bit too advanced for people who are trying to get into this, which I thought was actually a really good point that has been made before, but then I forget. So in this video, I'm going to really be trying to come at it from a what if I had to start again, or what the advice I was giving to him today is as follows. So the situation is, he's working, he's earning 40 grand a year, he's got no debt, he's got £30,000 worth of savings that he wants to use to get into properties. He's been told to buy a house, wait for 5 years, then refinance it, take the money out, then buy the next one, and that's the sort of advice that he's been given. So we sat down and I went through questions with him around, earnings, objectives, where does he want to be, what does he want to do, and it obviously turns out that obviously he wants to build something up for himself that he makes a passive income over time, but he needs to build his pot of money. So 30 grand is not really going to get him much further, or much too far. So the advice was as follows. I said, look, if you've got good credit, and we worked out that his savings around, after everything he pays, his rent and his cost of living, he's earning about 800, he's saving around £800 a month. So then we worked out that actually he can easily get a personal loan, an unsecured personal loan, because he's got no debt, no credit issues, he's got a really good credit profile, and he can take a personal loan of around £20,000. So straight away, that's going to cost him about £350 on average per month, and he's got that savings to cover it for a few months while he's investing. So now he's got 30 plus 20, so he's got 50k. Straight away, almost doubled his investment pot. Then I talked to him about, well, how do you get into properties when you've only got 50k? So you start to look at the first and foremost important thing is to buy below market value. You've got to always buy the discounted properties. How do you find those? I gave him a list of places to go, but the main thing is I've asked him to spend the next 3 months looking at auctions. Get yourself familiarized with where, excuse my French, shit properties go for cheap prices, because that's why they're in the auctions. There's always something not quite right and the auction properties, and you're trying to figure out, well, what is that? Can I fix it? And can I have the money to fix that? So in his case, he will be buying something. We went for an example today, 150 grand property that's available right now, 3-bedroom house down in the southeast of England that I'm looking at buying, and I use those as an example. So 150k, you will need 25% deposit. So what's that? £45,000. Is it 15, 20, 37 and a half, sorry. So £40,000 worth of deposit, and with stamp duty and costs, it's probably going to be, to develop it and stuff, so it's going to be about really 60 grand or so. So just use that as an example. I was showing him, look, you can buy this £150,000 house with 40k of deposit, and then you bridge the rest. So you take 110 grand bridge loan. So the bridging company will lend you £110,000, which is 75% of that purchase price. Okay, my maths is not exactly sure, I'm walking while I'm talking here, but you get the point. So 150 grand purchase, he puts in 25%, which is 37 and a half, with a bit of stamp, let's say 40,000 pounds. The rest of it he will bridge. He will get a loan at a bridging loan, which is basically a short-term loan, more expensive than a mortgage. A mortgage roughly will cost you, say, 5% a year. A bridging finance will cost you about 1% a month. So you pro-rata that for a year, that's 12%. But we only borrow for a shorter period of time, around the 6-month mark, let's say. So they will then lend you money on properties that mortgage companies wouldn't lend, because that's why they're higher risk, the higher interest that they will charge. So he will then buy this property that is, quite frankly, it's got damp, it's got mold, it's got issues with roof, but nothing crazy. I mean, somebody like me, if I buy, I'll be in and out within 4 weeks of this with my team. So he will buy this 150,000, spend, let's say, 30,000 on it, and the idea is that by the time he finishes with it, this property will be worth at least 250, maybe 275. And for him, only for him because he needs to build his pot of money. I said to him, you sell it, you then cash out. So let's say rudimentary math, say he bought and spent 180,000, revalued and sold at 250,000. So in his case, he's now made an uplift of 70,000 pounds worth of profit. So he will then get his initial money that he used, the 20,000 cash, no, the 30,000 cash, 20,000 loan. He can then use that money to pay the loan back, or just keep rolling that loan over, because now his pot of money has come from 30 cash, 20 personal loan, and let's say 70,000 as an uplift profit on that property. So that in itself straight away goes from 50 to 120, and that's the sort of money that he can then use to buy the next block. But ultimately it is about scaling. For him to scale, he needs to sell. The other thing to remember is bridging loan will lend you on things that mortgage companies would not, traditional mortgage company will not lend you, because that's their business model. They're lending you on a high risk property that is a little bit crap, that's a little bit work needs to be done to get it to the value that it needs to be. And a mortgage company will want to only lend you on a house that tomorrow the tenant can move in, whereas the ones that we're buying, tenants can't move in until we've fixed it for a few months. So I hope that helps, and we're going to post a few more videos to kind of go back to basics. So if you've got any questions to ask, please ask it, and that gives me inspiration to then answer and give you the right information.